extra topping for just $1 more. Today we came to Ourinhos in the countryside of São Paulo to show you how ice cream cones are made. Let's check it out. The factory we're going to visit today is called Marvi, which is nothing less than the largest manufacturer of ice cream ingredients in Latin America. They produce 8 million cones a day, as well as 600 other different products. They have toppings, flavorings, emulsifiers, everything for ice cream and many other foods. Even if you don't remember buying any of their products at the supermarket, I'm sure you've already eaten something that came out of this factory over here. Just to give you an idea, Marvi produces 8 out of every 10 ice cream cones consumed in Brazil, including those for the big ice cream brands and restaurant chains. As with all recipe videos, we begin with the ingredients. Here, everything undergoes a very strict inspection. Only after the quality department checks the supplier's reports and test samples are the tanker trucks authorized to unload into the silos. The sugar and cassava starch come in these big bags. They're hoisted up and placed into a hopper, which is like a giant funnel. It uses magnets and a sieve to block anything unusual. From the hopper, compressed air moves the ingredients through a pneumatic system to each silo. The process also uses soy lecithin, palm fat, salt, flavors, and some ingredients that are used in smaller amounts, which go straight to the mini silos. I've heard a German chef creates all the recipes. It seems like he doesn't talk much, but they allowed me to meet him. Let's go. That's right. The chef is actually a computer, a supercomputer, the supervisory system. It came straight from Germany, stores all the factory's recipes, and knows exactly the amount of each ingredient. When someone selects a recipe on the computer, the ingredients come here automatically, transported through these tubes with compressed air. Here, we'll have several scales that weigh the ingredients and drop them down into a giant blender. What I liked about this place is that it's a non-stop process. Once the blender finishes mixing the batter and sends it to the factory, a new batch arrives and the process repeats. There are basically 3 recipes, but later on, this will turn into many different products. Here in the factory, the batter will be stored in this tank that they call lung. Each line has a different lung, and it's all automatic. As the level in the lung goes down, the machine already asks the kitchen to send more batter. Let's make some more, German. Here at the plant, there are 5 automated production sectors, each with several lines. There are lines for cones, large cones, shaped cones and cups, wafer rolls and baskets. Now, the fun part has started. Look, there's a dosing nozzle that puts the batter right here at the entrance of the oven. You can tell by the shape, there's a grid pattern there, which we'll be able to see later on the cone. A kind of round pancake is formed, and here they call it a wafer.
It goes through a very long oven here at about 284, 302 degrees Fahrenheit.
But even after going through the oven, it still doesn't get hard. It needs to be soft so it can be shaped. We're going to try to pick one up here so you can see how it's still shapeable, and as it cools down, it hardens. I'm going to shape this cone by hand. It's kind of hot, but I think I can do it. I made the cone inside out, so the texture's on the inside as you can see it, but it should still taste good. It's still warm. This cone I just shaped by hand is, of course, made by a machine that works really fast. We're gonna try to show it in slow motion. That kind of pancake goes into a forming cone that shapes it perfectly into the ice cone we know, and then it comes out to harden. Watching the machine work so fast, it's hard to understand how a circle turns into a cone. But doing it here in my hand, you realize it's kind of obvious. And that's why the waffle cone has one side that's a little higher than the other. When you put a heavy scoop of ice cream on top, its weight is distributed to the base, and that reduces the risk of cracking. Besides, this cone shape is super easy to store. You can stack one inside the other. There are some other cones that are made from semicircles and then they end up with a straight edge, just like this one you're seeing here. When I was a kid, I thought this texture on the outside was so it wouldn't slip out of your hand.
Yeah, it could be that too, but the main thing is that it's a rib. It gives strength to the cone.
Almost everything made here has this outer texture, which you'll also find in many other things in your daily life. For example, a car is never fully rounded. Its bodywork always has ribs. If you take a drum or a can, it's never completely smooth. It has little lines there that reinforce the structure. This is where the wafer roll is made. The logic remains the same. The batter bakes inside, but it comes out ribbon-shaped and is rolled around a cylinder. The process is ongoing, so a giant wafer roll comes out and it gets cut into smaller pieces at the front. We got an end of a wafer roll ribbon here, and I'm trying to make a kind of giant wafer roll, but it ended up looking like a rose. But I'll tell you guys, it's really, really good. If I were Marvi, I'd already be launching a new product here, the Wafer Roll Rose by Manual of the World. Another way to make cones is very different and uses no sugar. In this machine, the batter is injected directly into a mold, a kind of little cup that goes into the oven and then gets another cup placed inside it. It's similar to making glass. In this case, that pancake shape we saw in the other machines isn't formed. The batter is cooked inside the mold itself. It's also interesting to see what role sugar plays in the recipe. It's not just for flavor. It really changes the consistency of the batter. Sugar, when it's hot, is moldable, and when it cools down, it gets really hard. So with it, you can make those waffles and roll the cone the way we saw. Without sugar, we need a completely different production method. Most of the products here, even before they cool down, are already packaged in sachets with just a few cones inside. The idea behind this is to protect from humidity. This keeps the crunchiness and also increases hygiene for the consumer. Remember when I said you've probably eaten something they made? That's because here they produce for McDonald's, Chiquinho, Unilever, Kibon, Nestle, Burger King, Bob's, Starbucks, Bacio di Latte, Fini, Girafas, and Outback. With partners like these ones, you can already imagine how quality control is crucial and how it constantly ensures products meet standards. But there are also products that can be customized with laser marking. Check out how cool this one from Manual of the World is. And I haven't even mentioned these small coffee cups that'll have a chocolate coating on the inside.
But we're gonna show that in another plant right next door.
A chocolate-coated coffee cup is an amazing idea. It's taking the concept of ice cream, where you can eat the container along with the product and bringing it to coffee. It needs to enter a crystallization tunnel. The idea is to form a coating inside that makes the cup waterproof while also adding flavor. I wonder if we can drink chocolate in a chocolate cup. The best part is, there's no waste left. This machine also lets you laser customize cups. Check it out. In the end, the boxes are palletized and sent to the warehouse. There they are stored on dynamic pallet racks. Marvi has its own logistics. They take care of everything, from sorting the cargo, shipping it to the docks, and loading it onto the trucks. The company is named after the family, and the founder, the grandfather, has a great story. Martini Renzo Giovanni left Italy, came to Brazil, and started working in the food industry, but in a very different way. He used to sell soda syrups, like syrup for those local sodas, where each city had a different one. While traveling through São Paulo's countryside, he fell in love and then got married. And Marvi comes from combining their names, Martini and Viana. After that, he settled down in Ourinhos, and today the company is 7 years old and already in its third generation.
Right next to us are the production lines for flavoring powder, emulsifiers, fillings, and toppings, another main product.
What I found most fun is that since they make all this, they need ice cream to test their products, right? So there's a mini ice cream factory here inside, and of course I'm gonna try to make my own ice cream. Let's just all agree today was about fulfilling a childhood dream, visiting an amazing factory. I even put my mouth under the ice cream machine. And all of this was in a Brazilian company, which is one of the 5 largest in the industry worldwide. The good thing is, if this video made you crave it, this is something easy to solve, because Marvi's products are in practically every Brazilian state, Latin America, the United States, and Europe. But you can also You'll find their products in wholesale stores, markets, supermarkets, and if you don't want to take it home, you can find it in almost every restaurant or ice cream store.